center. And I said, you scums of the earth, you better keep your hands off that poor thing, otherwise I'll give you a lesson in pain. Chitragupta and Yamaraj were both impressed. Really? When did this happen? He said 3 minutes ago. So good deeds. And you do good deeds, you go to Swarg. Right? But we want Bhagavad Prapti, God realization. For God realization, we don't want Swarg Narak, we want the grace of God. How will you get God's grace? You need to surrender to the Lord. We all look for grace in everything we do. And grace of God is not a whimsical act from His side. That's the interesting thing. That Lord who has created this amazing world with its millions of laws, physical laws, chemical laws, biological laws. Scientists haven't even completed their study of the laws of God, of nature. So for grace also, God has a law in place. Do you want grace? Yes. Then as per the law, you have to surrender yourself. This is the rule of Sharanagati. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Arjun, you surrender to God, then by His grace you will achieve that divine goal you are seeking. So, the responsibility is ours. We need to surrender. Here, one question arises in the minds of philosophers. They say, now listen to this carefully. They say, we hear God is causelessly merciful, akaran karun. Merciful without karan, without a reason. Binu hetu sanehi. No hetu, no reason, and yet affectionate. So if God is factually merciful without a cause, then why does He need us to surrender to Him? Surrender means we do something and then He graces us. Now if we have to do something, then the grace comes. Then He is not akaran karun, He is sakaran karun. He is merciful with a cause. Is everybody still with me? Yes. Okay. So akaran karun means we don't do anything. God, you are akaran karun, I am not doing anything, you are causelessly merciful, grace me. And if God has got these rules, you have to surrender to me, then I will grace you. Then this accusation will come. You are sakaran karun. Even the worldly businessmen are like that. You want the goods, give the price, take it. Hey shopkeeper, how much for that fridge? $5,000. Here, send it to my house. So likewise we say, God, what is the going rate for your grace? God says, surrender. Okay, surrendering. So is God also needing us to do something? Then our understanding of God's mercy changes. He's like, that way any businessman is merciful. Then he's like a businessman. Then how come He is that all pure God we thought about? For that, we will today go deeper into the secret of Sharanagati or surrender. And for this, we will go into the Bhagavad Gita. And then you will understand what this verse is explaining. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the opening scene, the whole setting is like this. Such profound knowledge is to be given. So the setting must be congruent to it. You would not stand in, let us say, a vegetable market and give profound knowledge. But now the situation is so complicated because it's a battle that is going to engulf all of Bharatvarsh, India of the time. These two sets of princes were so influential, everybody was obliged to side with one or the other. And both the armies have lined up. Now it's a dramatic setting. Just like Bollywood creates the dramatic setting, right? Right, the hero's car goes to the cliff's edge, etc. So both the armies are there and the whistle has been blown. Shankhan dadmuhu prithak prithak. Conch shells have been blown. Begin! At that time, Arjun says, Shri Krishna, please drive my chariot to the center. And then he looks and becomes confused. Gandivam sansate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate nacha shaknomyavasthatum bhramati vachame mana evam muktva arjuna sankhe ratho pasta upavishat vishrijyam sasharanchapam shoka samvigna manasa. Oh Shri Krishna, my knees are shaking, my throat is drying up and my hair is standing on end. And my heart is trembling. I cannot fight this war. My Gandiv bow is slipping out of my hands. So on one side, Arjun said, I cannot fight the war. On the other side, he also said, in the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter, Karpanya doshopahata svabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Oh Shri Krishna, I am completely bewildered. I don't understand what is my duty in this scenario. What is my dharma? We discussed dharma yesterday. What am I supposed to do? So Arjun did one very smart move. One smart move can change things. So what smart move did Arjun do? He said, Shri Krishna, you are my guru, I am your disciple. Please enlighten me. Now Shri Krishna began explaining. He said, Arjun, if you don't fight this war, it will be a bad thing, adharma. Arjun said, Maharaj, if I don't fight, it will be a bad thing. Arey Baba, in the world people say fighting is a bad thing. Whenever a war begins, all the intelligent people, the thinkers, philosophers, humanitarians, they say, don't fight, violence will result in deaths, etc. Stop fighting. And I am telling you, I will not fight. You are saying it will be a bad thing. Shri Krishna said, look Arjun, in this situation, you are a warrior. And this is a war of righteousness that is being fought to vanquish these evil people. If you decide I will not fight, your motive may be of compassion, but the people will not understand. They will say that Arjun is a coward. This pusillanimous coward, he chickened out in front of the opposing army and ran away from there. They will make fun of you. But more important, Arjun, is the fact that you have your dharma. As a warrior, your duties. And your dharma is to fight. If you forsake it, it will be adharma. And the consequence of adharma is you will go to narak, to hell. That makes sense. If you give up dharma, it is adharma. And if you do adharma, you go to hell. So Arjun said, Shri Krishna, I am understanding this much. Now supposing I fight, then what will I get? You said not fighting is adharma. Supposing I do dharma, then what? Shri Krishna said, Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahi. If you fight, that will be your dharma. There will be two consequences. Either you will win the war, and then you will become a king, or else you will perish on the battleground. And those warriors who die performing their duty, they go to the celestial abodes. So you will go to Swarg. In other words, laddus in both of your hands. On winning the war, you will become a king, and on losing, you will go to the celestial abodes. There can be no loss. Arjun said, Maharaj, becoming a king will never satiate my soul because I have understood there is no happiness in the world. Neither Bill Gates is happy, nor Elon Musk, nor Jeff Bezos. What is the use of becoming a king? And this Swarg, is there happiness there? Shri Krishna said, Arjun, Swarg is only temporary. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. When your punya is depleted, you will return from Swarg. So Swarg has got enhanced facility for material enjoyment. More objects of the senses, more luxuries, more worldly opulences. So do you think they will make anybody happy? That is the illusion people have. If I can have this much, then I'll be happy. If I can have that much, then I'll be happy. That is the reason why they chase the great American dream. Recently, one billionaire was telling me, Swamiji, when I first came to the US, I thought if I can make 1 million, I'll be happy. And then I got 1 million and there was no happiness. I thought if I make 10, I'll be happy. And after a couple of decades, I reached 1 billion and still there was no happiness. Then I said, this is all nonsense. This is just a constant illusion. So the illusion is very thick. If you ask people in the developing world, the underdeveloped countries, do you think people in America are happy? Of course, they must be happy. They wash clothes in the washing machine. They get hot water straight in the tap. They don't need to heat in the geyser, etc. So this illusion, of course, you people who live in America, you can share your wisdom with them. Arey Baba, there is no change in the happiness. In fact, very often the poor person is the happiest. Babuji, I'm so blessed. What are you blessed about? You know, God is so kind to me. He is sleeping in a hut and he says, God is so merciful. So it's the own mental attitude that is bestowing happiness, not the externals. Yat prithivyam vrihiyavam hiranyam pashavastriya nalamekasya paryaptam tasmat trishnam parityajet. The Bhagavatam says that if one person got all the money in the world, all the women, all the opulences, that person would be equally unhappy as anybody else. So tasmat trishnam parityajet, hence renounce this desire. Mrig jalajon dhaya rain dhin indra na ghat na bhare. This pot of the senses will never be fulfilled. What do you want? What does your tongue tell you? Eat, the cheesecake and you'll be so happy. So you keep giving your tongue cheesecakes, the tongue will never say enough. It will say enough for today, but tomorrow I want more, and day after tomorrow I want even more. That is the case with all the senses. And this illusion goes all the way up to Swarg, the celestial abodes. The situation of the Devatas is just the same. Sukha hadale bhag sat swan nirakhi mrigaraj chini lei jimi jan jad timi khal swargapati hina timi khalapati hina raj. The verse states that if a dog is eating a bone and a lion passes by, the dog thinks this lion must be after my bone. So he takes the bone and starts running from there. Now the king of the forest has got nothing to do with dog's bones. But the same is the situation with Indra. One yogi starts practicing severe austerities on the earth plane. And Indra becomes nervous. Oh my God, he may be trying to get my Singhasan. Let me send Menika, let me send Urvashi, do something. So even the celestials don't have satiation. So Sri Krishna said, Arjun, if you fight the war, either you will die and go to Swarg, or you will win and become a king. Arjun said, Maharaj, I have been a king of Indraprasth and I did not get happiness. And you are telling me that Swarg will also not satiate the soul. So both these laddus you are talking about are poisonous. You were saying laddus in both hands. Both of these laddus are worthless. In that case, I am really trapped. Because if I don't fight the war, it will be adharm and I will go to Narak. If I fight the war, it will be dharm and I'll go to Swarg. My problem is not solved. What can I do now? If I do good, I am trapped. If I do bad, I am trapped. What are my options? Sri Krishna said, Arjun, that is why. Don't fight the war, reject this option. Fight the war, reject this option as well. Do something which is different from both. Arjun said, Maharaj, how is that possible? I don't fight the war, I don't do that. I fight the war, I don't do that as well. There's something I must do which is separate from both of these. I don't understand. You are the Guru, I am the Shishya. Your riddle has gone over my head. Please come to my level and explain it to me. Sri Krishna said, Arjun, this riddle the person who solved got Premanand. Everybody else kept rotating in the world. So the secret of the Bhagavad Gita lies here. Your goal is neither to do pap, not to do punya. Neither to do bad, nor to do good. To do something which is beyond both. Now, how do you do something which is beyond both good and bad? So Sri Krishna says, Arjun, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraj. Give up this chakkar of dharma and adharma and surrender to me. The Ramayana says the same thing. Bhagavan Ram gave one lecture. Ek baar Raghunath bulaye. In his stay as king of Ayodhya, once he called all the Avadvasis. Now Bhagavan Ram is going to conduct the life transformation program. And of course, because he is Bhagavan, he did it in one day. So, Guru Dvija Puravasi Sab Aaye. The publicity was nice, the flyering, distribution was all very well. So all the Avadvasis landed up, even Guru Vasisht came. And Ram said, Bade bhaga manusha tanu pava sur durlabh sadgranthan hi gava. O Avadvasis, residents of Ayodhya, you are extremely fortunate to get the human form, which even the celestials hanker for. Which means what? The form that you and I have got, this human form, even the celestials hanker for it. Because they can't achieve God realization. This is the free will zone where you have that option. He said you are blessed and make the best of this opportunity. Just like we were singing in the morning, Ujjwala was singing, right? Avasar bhityo jata hare mana. Oh my dear mind, the golden chance is slipping out of your hands. You are unaware, I've got the golden chance. But if you realize the value of the human body, you will then be motivated. So, this human form, O Avadvasis, is so rare. What do? He gave many instructions. You can read the Uttarkand, but I am pointing your attention to this instruction. Tyaga hi karma shubha shubha dayaka bhaja hi mohi sura nar muni nayaka. Avadvasis, forget about what is dharma, what is adharma, these material things. Instead, you engage in my bhajan. So the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, the same instruction Bhagavan Ram also gave. So Bhagavan Ram says that Sri Krishna says, Arjun, fight the war, don't do that. Don't fight the war, don't do that. Do something like that. Arjun says, Maharaj, can you please simplify and tell me? Sri Krishna says, look, Arjun, you do Sharanagati, surrender to me. Sharanagati is neither pap nor punya, neither a bad thing nor a good thing. If Sharanagati was a bad thing, it would have taken you to hell. If Sharanagati was a good thing, it would take you to Swarg, celestial abodes. Sharanagati is doing neither good nor bad, it is doing nothing. See, even in the world, what does surrender mean? When a dacoit comes, shows you a revolver, lift your hands up, higher, surrender. So you're surrendered. What are you doing? Nothing. You're surrendered. When one army surrenders to the other army, What do? Nothing. In 1971, when the Pakistani army in East Pakistan, they surrendered to India, what did they do? Nothing. Surrender means doing nothing. So Shri Krishna says, Arjun, surrender. Do nothing. Now on doing nothing, if God graces, you cannot claim that I have paid a price for God's grace. You cannot say, oh, I did this, then God graced me. As long as we were doing this, He was not gracing us. It's only when we stop doing that He is gracing us. Don't understand? I explain again. See, it's just like one 5-year-old child. The mother takes complete responsibility for him. An infant child. Mother takes, oh my God, he's wetted the pants, I'll clean it up. The child is hungry, oh, I'll feed the child. The child has got no work to do, only to go to sleep, to wake up, to cry, to excrete, and again go to sleep. Everything else mommy does. But now the child becomes a 5-year-old. Now the child starts doing some things. And mummy reduces doing little bit. If the child says, Mummy, I want to go to the restroom, go. You've become so big, why are you telling me? Now he is doing some things and mummy is doing that much less. And he's become bigger. He is now going to UTD. So now he is doing everything and mummy has stopped doing everything. If father comes back from office and says, where is our Ramesh? Mummy says he's become avara, he's become a loafer, must have gone to see some movies with friends. Now mummy is not taking responsibility. And that same Ramesh, when he was a 5-year-old and there was a 10-minute delay in his return from school, both mummy and papa had started sweating. Where is that little boy? I hope he's not lost somewhere. Just ring up 911, call the principal, let's find out. So the point is that when Ramesh was doing nothing, his mummy was doing everything. When Ramesh started doing little, his mummy stopped doing little. When Ramesh started doing everything, his mummy stopped doing everything. Now, reverse the sequence. The same is the case with God. When we say, I am the doer, I will do it, it's all I can do it. God says, please, go ahead. I will not help. I will only note your karmas and give the results. And when we say, oh God, I'm slightly surrendered to you. I'm surrendered to you also. Not only, also. He, not he. But I'm also surrendered to the world. Then God says, okay, in that case, I will do little kripa. And when we say, Mam ekam sharanam vraja, I am surrendered to you alone. Then God says, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu sansara sagarat. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Now I'll maintain the full yoga kshem of this soul. He will now do nothing. I will take complete responsibility. At that stage, the soul will just be little child in the hands of God, and God will become the doer. So the stage of Sharanagati is not that I am doing this and I am doing that. The stage of Sharanagati is the reverse. Sadhanheen. No strength of my sadhan. Nirbal ke Balaram. One who feels, I don't have my own strength except for the grace of God. God becomes that person's strength. जब लगी गज बल अपनो बरत्यो नेकु सरियो nahi kam. As long as Gajaraj, the elephant, depended on his strength. So the battle is described between Gajaraj, the king of the elephants, and the crocodile. The crocodile was in his natural habitat in the water, and the huge elephant was outside his comfort zone. The battle went on for a long time. The elephant was pulling, and finally he realized. He just surrendered to God. My Lord, you are my strength. So, jab lagi gaj bal apno baratyo neku saryo nahi kam. God did not grace. Nirbal hai jab naam upakaryo. I adhe naam. When he became nirbal, my Lord, I have got no bal, no strength of my own. I adhe naam. God came in half a name. Because he called out. And Narayan was at that time with Lakshmi. So their clothes were, like knotted together. And moment Gajaraj called, Narayan started off. And Lakshmi said, where are you going? But Narayan said, ha! Hathi, elephant. So, ha! And he started moving. Lakshmi said, oh my God, I will need to move along, otherwise this cloth will come off. So Lakshmi also started accompanying. Garuji said, where is my master going? He also accompanied. All the associates, they all arrived. And when he reached there and saved Gajaraj, he said, thi. Ha, thi. So I adhe naam. Though Kripaluji Maharaj has said elsewhere, Sab sadhan sampann kah, puchat sab sanasar. The world, it runs after people who have sadhan, who are famous, who are powerful, who are rich, who are eminent. But Nand Kumar does not. Whom does Nand Kumar run after? Sadhan heen prapannakah puchat Nand Kumar. Nand Kumar, he bestows his grace on someone who from inside feels, I am sadhan heen. It doesn't mean that only a poor man can feel I am sadhan heen. A poor man can be full of pride and a rich man can be free from pride. But the inner state that I am sadhan heen. And that is the strong message from the surrender of Draupadi. Her surrender is famous. It is included in practically so many lectures in our Indian culture. Draupadi, when she was brought to the assembly of the Kauravas, because Yudhishthira had lost in the gamble, but Dushasan pulled her there. So initially Draupadi was kind of, fearless. What will he do of mine? My 5 husbands are lined up out here. Now if a wife, her husband is a powerful person, police commissioner, the wife naturally has some amount of pride for it. Hey, speak to me properly. Don't you know my husband is police commissioner? Now Draupadi's 5 husbands and 5 of them are Mahapurush. So Dushasan said, Savdhan. Draupadi looked at Bhimsen. Just now Bhimsen will come and smash his head with his mace. But Bhimsen put his head down. Draupadi looked at Arjun. Gandiv Dhari Arjun is going to come and twang his teeth out of his mouth. Arjun also lowered his head. One by one, they all lowered their heads. Draupadi said, oh my God, I was thinking they are my support. There were big dharmacharyas there. Bhishma, Vidur, Kripacharya, Dronacharya. Draupadi started taking their support. They can do something. There was no response. So Draupadi then said, I can do something. she caught the cheer, the sari in her mouth. Factually, Draupadi was extremely strong. Panchali, the lady with 5 husbands, internally she was a maiden. That is why in the Panch Kanyas in Karmakand, the name of Draupadi is taken. The divine Yoga Maya Leelas of God and Guru. So Draupadi caught that cheer in her mouth, but she sort of started remembering Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna at that time was in Dwarika. He was sitting with Rukmini and eating when Draupadi started remembering, and he stopped right there. So the morsel in the mouth is not going in, the morsel in the hand is not going to the mouth, and Sri Krishna is in deep thought. Rukmini said, Patidev, what has happened? Is there a little stone in the food? Why have you stopped? You are Leela Dhari, what kind of Leela is this? Sri Krishna said, Rukmini, a serious matter has come on Draupadi. Go and save her. I am restrained by my rules. My rules are, ye yatha mam prapadyante tas tathaiva. As you surrender, I shall reciprocate. She is not surrendered to me. She is surrendered to her own strength. She believes that she can do it. What could poor Draupadi do? Dushasan had the strength of 10,000 elephants. Now suppose Draupadi also had the strength of 10,000 elephants. The sari did not. The sari was made in, one of those mills in Gujarat. It would have torn. So when Dushasan tugged and the sari started slipping, at that time Draupadi realized it is not my ability. And she lifted her hands and cried, Shri Krishna Govinda Dwarika Vasan! O Shri Krishna who resides in Dwarika, come! Immediately, Shri Krishna responded. The Ambar avatar took place. Now the sari kept on increasing and increasing and increasing, and Dushasan kept pulling. Sari hai ki nari hai ki sari bich nari hai ki nari bich sari hai. He started sweating and fainted unconscious. But he could not humiliate Draupadi. Now the Ambar avatar, the Lord descended in the form of the sari. So this episode which took place is an episode which highlights surrender, complete faith in the grace of God. Means you give up these ashray, dhan bal ashray, faith that my wealth is protecting me. Swajan bal ashray, faith that my relatives are protecting me. Sadhan bal ashray, faith I have done 25 Ashvamed Yagyas, they will support me. Swabal ashray, all these ashrays you give them up, and only God is my ashray. So later on, that kind of surrender which Draupadi did, you can do it right now on the last day of the family camp. Sri Krishna will bestow his grace, you will become God realized. But if you say, no Swamiji, this family camp I am not yet fully decided. Next year I come, I will definitely surrender. All right. Next year God will bestow that grace and make you God realized. If you say, Swamiji, in this life I have got other intentions, etc., maybe next life. Okay, next life. But until you surrender like that, you will not achieve the ultimate goal. So to achieve the ultimate goal, it is not the sadhan. The sadhan is only the nimit. It is the grace. The sadhan, sharanagati, is to reach the state of doing nothing. And then you get the grace. You have reached that state where you realize you are the non-doer, where you realize he is the doer. Then he will grace you. Later on, Draupadi accosted Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, can I speak to you for 2 minutes? Like people come to me, right? Swamiji, can I speak to you? So Draupadi had direct access to Sri Krishna. She said, Sri Krishna, I need 2 minutes of your time. Sri Krishna said, all right. So she said, you knew that I was in deep trouble. Why did you delay so much? Sri Krishna said, delay? Are Draupadi, you called out and I came. Draupadi said, Maharaj, even after my calling out, there was microseconds of delay. It was such a sensitive matter, a few more microseconds had passed, it would be too late. Why did you delay? Sri Krishna said, Draupadi, the fault is yours. You know that I am God. Yes, Maharaj. You know that I am all-pervading. Of course. You know I am sitting in your heart. Yes, Maharaj. So why did you call out like this? Oh, Sri Krishna resides in Dwarka, please come and save me. I was sitting in your heart, you said that, so I first went running to Dwarka, then I came running back. God has to respond as per the sentiments of the devotees. If you don't have faith, I am sitting in your heart, then I'll run to Dwarka and come back. That, of course, is a humorous aside that the saints relate in regard to this episode, but the point is, surrender is not the name of a sadhana, of a spiritual practice. Surrender is a state of going completely beyond and reposing all your faith in God. However, to reach that so this is what Kripaluji Maharaj is saying. If you do punya, you will go to Swarg. If you do pap, you will go to Narak. And if you want God realization, you reject both and do bhajan. But to reach that state of doing nothing, otherwise you say, okay, surrender means do nothing. Okay, Swamiji, I will stop all bhajan, now I am doing nothing. No, even if you are just sitting, that sitting is also a work. Okay, supposing I lie down, now I am doing nothing. Even lying down is a karma. Supposing I go to sleep, then, well, your mind is engaged in dreams. There is karma going on. Supposing I am in deep sleep, now I am doing nothing. Well, your heart is moving. This body and mind are such a machine. You cannot stay without doing karma. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krit. How will you reach the state of doing nothing? It is not easy, to do nothing. One doctor, very famous heart specialist, he said that when a man dies, I check his heart and see if the movement has stopped. And when a woman dies, I check the mouth and see if she stopped speaking. No offenses meant, just to get a few laughs, okay? I have the highest respect for women. So, the state of doing nothing is a very elevated state. We are all full of kartidvabhiman, the pride of doership. The pride of doership is so big in us. How will we give it up? You will need to do a lot of sadhana to reach that state. If you say, I just sit down, the pride is still inside of you. To reach that sensitive, subtle, elevated state, you will right now have to do a lot. That is why Vasisht told Ram in the Yog Vasisht, Karta Bahir, Akarta Antar Vihara Raghava. He said, Ram, do this. Externally do all your sadhan with all your effort, exerting your mind and intellect. And internally cultivate this bhav. I am not the doer. The real doer is God. It is He who will get this done. So internally give up the pride of doership and externally keep on doing. The day the pride is completely destroyed, then you will be like a little child sleeping in the lap of the Divine Mother who is God. He will then be your doer. And that stage, you will have reached the stage of doing nothing. But for right now, we need to do a lot of hard work. So, Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe.
Radhe, Jai Radhe.
ending today's lecture, I would just like to say a few things, because I know that evening session is going to be sparsely attended. Some people will not be present here, maybe. So that is why, for many people, this may be the last lecture of the family camp. I would like to, all